Welcome you now to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here on another amazing episode. If you have not taken the time to subscribe to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. You're already here. It's free. Help us out. It helps us a lot. Thank you so much for the ones that comment. Give us a like. Thank you very much. Today we have, to me, I feel like this gentleman has a very important role in the Dallas, Texas music scene whenever he was doing his thing, and in general, even the club scene. He is a videographer, director, entrepreneur, part of, or actually he is the TV production team for Estrella Media. He has tied to some legendary names such as DMX TV, Revolucion TV, and much more. We have the gentleman DTown Jackal and La Casa. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Crispin?
Did I get everything right? Did I misspoke on some stuff?
Yeah, you got. I think pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Just a few things. Yeah. Not to mention he has his TikTok video that he does action figures review.
Yeah.
And he does all kinds of other things. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
But first, we're going to go ahead and before we get to the interview, Preguntas Al Chile. Y Preguntas Al Chile is one of your favorite segments. Smash the like button. I'm
Preguntas Al Chile.
Smash the like button right now. Está listo. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Tacos o tortas?
Tacos.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Flour.
Gorditas or pupusas?
Gordita.
Mexican coca or jarritos?
Oh, Mexican coca.
Yeah. Horchata, Jamaica, or tamarindo agua? Tamarindo. Ooh, not many people pick that. Salsa verde or salsa roja?
Verde.
Chile rellenos or mole?
Ooh, man. I'll go with mole.
Mole, yeah, more traditional. Menudo or pozole?
Menudo.
Menudo. Valentina tapatio or Cholula hot sauce?
Valentina.
Valentina. Cumbia or salsa dancing?
Cumbia.
Cumbia? Oh, nice. This is nothing to do with nothing like the other ones. A conspiracy theory that when you heard one time, you'll be like, man, I think that's true. Or it could be true. What would that be?
That could be true. Well, I guess the JFK conspiracies.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the first ones when they said the government killed him. I was like, yeah, that could be true.
That could be really. You're not the only one. There's a high percentage of the people when we talk about conspiracy theories and things. Of course, aliens on top, but the JFK often comes a lot because it's a lot of documentaries and it's like.
Man, don't get me started on aliens, bro.
Man. Okay, what are your thoughts on aliens?
Man, they exist, bro. Well, I mean, not to go too far into it, but real quick. Like. Even like, it's crazy because I believe in God.
Yeah, of course.
I believe in angels. I'm very spiritual. But when you put it down to like a scientific point of view, anything that's not of this earth, what is it classified as? If it's not from here, a being that lands here, what is it? It's an alien.
I mean, but if you think about it, if God is all created, like we just say the word to kind of sort of understand it, right? But his infinite power of everything he can possibly do is outside of this world too, right? It's not just here. Mm-hmm. We just kind of sort of want to make it small for us, our small brains to understand the concept of a God. But, you know.
That's the problem with us. Like, we're always trying to, like, put everything in a particular box and try and understand it and explain when honestly, a lot of things are left unexplained.
Well, there is no box for him, you know?
You know, because people try to put like, oh, but God is this, or God is love, God is that. I'm like, man, just leave it alone.
True to that. When you hear the word Latino, Latina, or Latinx, what immediately comes to mind to you?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how people are gonna feel about this, but like when I hear like Latinx, I don't identify with that at all. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Like Latino to me is more like being a Hispanic, or I know some people don't like that, but or just being of that kind of a heritage, that background. You know, we speak the same language basically, and you know about rice and beans is what I'm saying. Like that's Latino in a way, whether you're like Puerto Rican, Colombian, like to a certain degree, like we all have the same kind of like struggle,
Yeah.
and same kind of background. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter which flag you have here in the United States, they all say you're this.
Yeah. He's pointing at the Mexican flag because we apologize to all the other cultures that you're not, but in general,
but yeah,
generalizing, a lot of them think you're Mexican.
I mean, you could be in New York. Man, those Mexicans.
Straight up from Guatemala or straight up from El Salvador or Peru or somewhere.
Yeah.
True to that. Okay, so let's get a little bit about your story. I know that you told me. Do you know what your parents are? Are you first generation, second generation?
So yeah, my mom's from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, I believe he was from Mexico too, but he was more raised over here.
Okay.
But he wasn't from Eagle Pass. My mom's from Piedras Negras in Coahuila.
So you told me you have an interesting story about your mom crossing over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, like my mom, she was just like a regular schoolgirl, her like, and her sisters, they wore the uniforms and what I'm saying, go to school back and forth. And I remember she was telling me like one day it was like her birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And back then, it was back in the day, so like she was just like, what she really wanted was like a hamburger or something like that, like for her birthday. And then my dad, he was like, his name is Frank. Or Francisco, but we call him Frankie. Like that's what they call him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he was known to be driving around the hood or in Mexico. Even though everybody knew he was from the other side, but he'd always be in nice cars and stuff driving. So everybody knew him. And like my dad, he like hollered at my mom. He knew her, like, hey, what are you doing? And obviously in Spanish, and it was, let me take you out for your birthday. And he took her out. Go and bought her a hamburger or whatever, and they just hung out. But the thing is, like, I guess it took a little bit too long because by the time like he brought her home, it was already getting dark.
Yeah.
So
she was fairly young still.
Yeah, they're both young. They're teenagers. They're teenagers. And by the time he had brought her home, my grandpa, like, he was like, he got ballistic because it was like it's dark. What kind of hours are you coming? What kind of girl do you think this is? What kind of house do you think I'm running?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, if this is where you are, I don't need you here. Get out of here. I want you out of here. And basically kicked her out. And my dad was like, well, just come with me. We'll figure it out. I'll take you to my house. And then my my grandma, my dad's mom was basically like, from what I remember is, she was like, well, why'd you bring her here? Well, she has nowhere to go. And, like, my dad's mom was like, well, I guess just stay here and we'll just figure it out, And that's what happened. Like, my dad's family, they're like in charge of, like, the strawberry fields or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they would always commute to Florida and stuff like that. So it came that time of year, and they was like, well, I guess you're coming with us. So they took her over, and next thing you know, a couple of years, they were friends the whole time. But then after a while, I guess they ended up falling in love, and the rest is history, basically.
That's crazy. So out of wanting to grab a hamburger, it got a little late just because he was so strict, the grandpa, and all he thought crazy stuff about is like, get out of here.
Yeah, very old school, man.
Wow,
yeah.
Super strict, bro.
Yeah,
that used to be the case back in the days a lot. Couldn't be seen any kind of weird, anything weird, strange, different. If you were doing something that seemed like it was questionable, you were out of there.
Oh yeah, man. Like it's just, and from what I know, he was very very strict.
Yeah. So you were born here in Dallas, Texas?
I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Parkland baby or no?
Nah, man. Medical City.
Medical City. Watch out, bro. Medical Parkland.
Man, watch out, Parkland. No.
Have you been Parkland though?
Actually, I did go to Parkland one time. I was in an apartment fire.
Oh shoot!
And believe it or not, this right here is skin graft, and from when I got burned. And
how were you when that happened?
Oh, this was just a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
you were playing superhero. See,
bro.
All those reviews you've been doing, bro. You believe in it.
this is embarrassing. I was making papas con huevos, and then so I was. basically, I had my back to it. I had it unattended, and then by the time I saw there was a flame there, like where the pan was, dude, I had like the campana over the stove was like a microwave, right? Yeah. And that was already melting, and basically I was gonna put the potatoes in the grease to fry it or whatever. But because there's so much oil in there, yeah, and then when it's on fire, there's no depth perception.
Yeah.
So you can't tell how much is. So when I grabbed the pan, I went like this. It slushed over.
Ouch.
And it burned all this, and it burned like the side of my leg, my toes, and man, dude, and it was just like a movie, dude, because when it slushed and it fell on the ground, you just see the oil on fire and it starts spreading on the tile.
Wow.
And I threw that in the sink, the pan, and then I was like, there's like all this fire, and I was saying, I didn't know what to do, so I wanted to get flour initially to put it out, but once I got burned, that went out the window. I opened up a closet, grabbed clothes, I threw it on the ground, and I was trying to muffle it out, or whatever, and what happened was, the clothes started burning immediately.
Are you serious? I guess because of the oil.
Yeah, so it started going.
It wasn't like a wood type of surface that you could just put it down and it take all the oxygen out. It was more of
I woke up the kids and my girl. And I was just like, fire! And man, everybody's running around their underwear. It was nuts.
Did the whole place burn down? Or was it you able to contain it? Somebody was able to contain it?
It didn't burn down. The apartment was a total loss. And, so I lost everything. Man, I had cameras, I had equipment, everything. Like, man, I lost everything. Like stuff like irreplaceable stuff. Memories, all that stuff. I lost everything.
Of course. Wow, that's wild, brother. I'm glad you're good. But what degree of burns was it that they said?
Oh, no, it was a 3rd degree. Well, they had immediately, they took me to Parkland, and they were saying that, because at first, it's because my girl, she's a quadriplegic. She's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure she was good. And they kept on wanting to take me to the hospital. And I was like, nah, I got to make sure she's all right, or at least take her to her people. And then I'll go. And the firefighters was like, nah, man, stop trying to be tough, or I don't know if you're trying to put on in front of your family. And it wasn't nothing like that. It was just like, I can't leave them out in the street and then me go to the hospital. Hey, take care of me. And they don't have nowhere to go.
We'll see you later. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. and like about 5 different firefighters came up to me until the last one, like the one that was like the one in charge there.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, I'm the captain here. I just got to tell you, like, that burn right there, you really got to take it to the hospital. And he started explaining to me, like, the thing is, every second counts when it comes to this, because everything starts dying from the middle and starts spreading.
Yeah.
To where eventually, like, you may have to lose your hand. And then when he said that, I was like, man, I can't play video games with one hand. I was like, I got to get out of here. And then my girl, she was like, yeah, just go. I'll call my sister to get me. So I was like, all right. And I left, and as soon as they took me to the hospital, bro. Like, have you ever seen like a washcloth, like a regular washcloth? Mm-hmm. That's basically what they did. They put like some regular Dove soap on me, washcloth. They scrubbed the crap out of my hand.
You could feel it too. Did they numb it?
No, they didn't do anything.
Oh.
They like took all the skin off. Ouch. Like here, everywhere I was burned, they did that. And dude, I never purposely like really wanted to cuss people out like that, but dude, I was cussing out the nurses. I was like, motherfucker.
That's crazy. They don't give you anything for the pain.
No, they didn't give me anything. Jeez. If they did, I don't remember. And they put this thing on my deal. It's called a Doppler radar, just like the weather. Yeah. And what it does, it tells you if it's dead. Like if it'll come up kind of like a thermoscope or something like that.
Yeah.
And then if it's still alive, it'll come up. And then like if it's dead, like it'll be like no reading or whatever. That's what it was, like right here. And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to get you a skin graft, otherwise, it's gonna spread. So yeah, this is actually my leg. This.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they grabbed that, put it right there. Wow.
Yeah. And it's crazy, man, because to me it looks like some Leatherface type thing. It
does look a little bit Leatherface. The color is different.
And I went to like a checkup, and it was weird because like well, first off, let me just say if you go to Parkland because of burn, they're the number one burn unit in the country.
Oh, nice.
So they took care of me, and it was on. They had me back up and running within 2 weeks.
So you were good back then.
Yeah.
No rehab that you had to do on that.
No, I had to relearn to use my finger like this because my skin had to learn how to stretch. So I had to like learn how to do gang signs. But I had to stretch that right.
You only get back in with one hand.
I was like, yeah.
That's funny.
But I went to a checkup and a doctor looked at it, the skin graft, and I was like, yeah. And they took my hand. They're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I was like looking at it like,
it's beautiful.
And I was like, where'd you get this on? Parkland. I was like, oh yeah, they got this, one of the best. One of the best. This is beautiful. I was like, dang man, this little thing was nuts.
You're hilarious. So you used to do comedy too. That was freaking. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. Okay. So glad you're good. Glad your hands are good, and you got some beautiful work done there. Okay. So when you were going to school at all, was the thought of you like doing any videography, grabbing a camera, or anything like that ever occurred to you at all?
There was thoughts back in the day, like, you know, because there were like AV clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it, but like back then, dude, I grew up like in the 90s. So I was like, nerd. Yeah. Like, so I was like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
So it's too cool. You're trying to keep it too cool.
I was too cool for school back then.
All right. So finally, you getting a couple of friends. They doing some music, and you just kind of sort of want to get into the rap game a little bit.
Yeah. So it wasn't until after high school, after like I was basically like a deadbeat 20-year-old, like with no direction. Went to a buddy's house. And sure enough, they say, "Oh man, he's across the street." I go over there, and like the neighbor across the street, they had like a studio, and next thing you know, people were like jumping in front of the mic, rapping and stuff like that. And that's basically when I had my turn to do it. I was like, man, that was like the most fun I ever had. I was like, I thought it was awesome because I was rhyming. There was like, man, you could rhyme. I was like, yeah, I thought I was really doing something. And I moved to DC. A little bit after that, and I stayed out there for some time with my brothers, working for my brother. And
he has a construction company.
He had a construction company, and I was his driver. And basically, honestly, he paid me very well to do nothing. So with all my money, I didn't have to pay for anything. So all my money, I saved it, and I started buying recording equipment, like a little laptop. Mic, the little filters, and dude, I thought I was really doing something. Once I got the filter on the mic, I was like, "Oh, official!" And so I had like a walk-in closet, and I converted it into like a little studio / little booth or whatever. And I was learning to make little beats, taking beats, and stuff like that. Like, this is pre-YouTube, so when I'd say taking beats, I'd go on to LimeWire.
LimeWire.
I gave my computer aids, like going on that thing a couple times. I would jump on LimeWire and download beats or instrumentals and stuff, or I'd buy them at the store. Back then, you actually bought the actual media. I remember one of the ones I bought was Jay-Z's Black Album. It was special because they did an all instrumental version of it, of the whole album.
Nice.
And just stuff like that. I started mixing stuff from rock to rap. And then I would try to jump on a track, and honestly, this is kind of embarrassing, but okay. There would be songs like Jay-Z or 50 Cent or The Game or little songs that were like popular. Yeah. But there'd always be like a little space, and I'd loop it, right? And then I'd loop it to where I'd put just enough to where I could put a couple bars in there, and then I'd burn it on a playlist or whatever, and I'd just be like in the back of the car playing it with my brothers, see if they catch it. And I remember one of my brothers said, "Was that you?"
They caught you. They caught you.
He was like, "Man, it was alright. It was alright. It was alright." And anyway, I thought they were gonna clown me. I was like, "Man, that was trash." But now I was like, "It was alright."
But then you had a moment of honesty for yourself, right, when you were doing that. I think you were listening to something and you thought of a question and then you made a decision. What happened?
Yeah, so and I would say for any up and coming artist, ask themselves this: if you think you got it, ask yourself this question: would you buy this CD? Would you buy this person's CD? I asked myself that question. I was like, hell no, man. I grabbed that shit and just threw it. I was like, man, no, I'm wasting my time over here. What am I doing?
What was your rapping game at that time? Your rapping name? Did you have anything?
I didn't have a rapping name at the time. Like, that was the last thing. It's because really more than anything, the writing part of it was the part that I loved the most. Because at the time I had went through like a divorce, and all that I put out in there. It was a lot. It was more therapeutic than anything. But then when I was hearing it, I was like, man, straight garbage. Gotta do something else.
There's a lot of artists that come through here that when they talk about therapy and things like their records, that's some of the ways that they use it to be able to get that out, and therapy for them. So it is useful. You're not the first one that said this was interesting. Okay, but then you come into that rapping career ended, but then you find something else. You go into an event, and all of a sudden, cameras start drawing your attention more.
So, like I said, I was making decent bread where money wasn't a thing. And back then, there was a store called Circuit City. They had like an open box buy where you buy something cheap.
It'd be like your Best Buy of present days, kind of. Or fries or something like that.
I bought me this camera. It was like $100, Panasonic, and it was a handheld, the ones you put like this, and then you just point and shoot.
Point and shoot camera.
And I took that thing everywhere. I'd be talking to it, and this pre-YouTube, like MySpace was barely a thing, so I didn't know who I was talking to or whatever. But like, hey guys, check it out. And I'd be driving like my brother's cars, and how I do it. I'm doing it big, and like, I don't know,
doing those corny videos that everybody be doing nowadays.
And
selfie before a selfie was a thing.
And I didn't even plan on showing anybody this ever. But I'm already talking to the camera. And one day I'm driving and I hear like metal, like rock music. Like, I was like, man, that sounds bad. They're jamming.
Yeah.
And I'm driving. I'm like, I gotta find this. And then I pull up to a rec center, and it's like a little festival of different bands there performing. And shoot, I get out the truck, I grab my camera, and I just start interviewing the bands, recording some of the sets. And they're like, what's this for? I was like, I'm putting a DVD together. I don't know what I'm doing. And, I take it home and I start looking at the footage. I was like, man, this almost looks like it could be a TV show or something. Yeah. Like, and then that, believe it or not, was like the beginnings of like what would become Revolucion TV, a project that I ended up doing later.
So did you do anything with that footage at all? Did you put it in any social media or anything? I don't know if YouTube was even allowing you.
YouTube wasn't there yet. What I did was, what I edited from that, I did put it on a.
You could burn it into a CD.
So I didn't have a DVD burner, but I used CD, so I turned it into a data disc.
A data disc.
And then I FedEx it to a couple buddies. So I was in Virginia, right outside of DC, and I sent it here to Dallas to a couple buddies of mine to see what they thought. And they were laughing because I had like little cartoon skits on there. I had like a whole bunch of stuff that I would download from just online, and then plus like the interviews I was doing. It looked like a show.
Okay.
And like I said, it was like literally the beginnings of what would become Revolution TV.
So do you do that for a long time? Just show up to places, start shooting, or do you start getting into maybe events, weddings, quinceañeras, anything like that, or filming any type of music videos? When was your first music video for you?
My first music videos were when I came back from DC. I moved back to Dallas, and my first group that gave me a shot to shoot a video was called After Summer.
After Summer. And what kind of music did they do?
And you can actually find them on YouTube. Their local Dallas band is Rock en Español, and they actually went to my high school.
Awesome.
And
how did they know you were doing videos?
Well, because I had a camera, and I was like, hey, let me shoot a video. All right. And I shot it, and ended up being, I learned so much from that one shoot.
Yeah.
Like, probably 80% of it was trash. But there was one shot in there that no matter who saw it, everybody said the same thing. They said, what kind of camera you use on this? This looks like a professional camera. This looks like a $100,000 camera shot. And it wasn't that. It was just the lighting. And that's the first lesson I learned in lighting. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. If you have, like, impeccable lighting, it can make it look awesome. And it's just the way the sun hit this particular shot, this scene. There was actually water on the ground, and just the way it hit, it looked badass. It looked like it could have been filmed. And I was shooting, like, in 24 frames per second. But, man, that was, like, my first lesson. And then from then on, like, I was like, you know what? I think I got something here.
Yeah. Were you doing anything else? Like you know, a lot of videographers start off with quinceañeras.
No, I didn't.
None of that.
I didn't do 15s till kind of more later down the lines. My main thing was I would go to the clubs, and I was just recording, getting footage. First it was the rock clubs, then it was like techno, and then eventually like I put like a little sizzle reel together, and I reached out to, at the time there was a club called DMX, and they happened to have a TV show on.
Before we get to DMX, any other footage you were recording, were you putting it in a DVD, CD, anything yet?
Oh, well, I recorded stuff about me, you know, like trying to be on camera.
Okay.
But nothing like...
nothing fully produced that was good to go to be put into some kind of product or package, anything like that?
Nah. Not yet. Everything that came after... like that was like to that level was after DMX TV.
So you know, where do you know DMX TV? Where do you see it? How do you hear about it? I think it's the talk of the town. Like everybody wants to be there on a Thursday, on a whatever day.
So for me, I didn't even know DMX TV existed. So I went to a buddy's house, and it was Saturday. We were actually about to go out to the club, and then he was like, "Hey, bro, you seen DMX TV?" I was like, DMX? DMX got his own TV show?
Like the rapper. You was thinking about that rapper.
He was like, no, bro, like the club. I was like, what? It was like, no, check this out. And he put it up, and it was like that time of night, and it was airing. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I thought it was like the coolest shit ever. I mean, can you cuss?
Yeah. We prefer not to, but here and there, we have to express yourself.
So I thought it was like the coolest thing, right? And like we went to the club. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, you know, till like one day I just got the nerve to start hitting up the guy that was producing the show, and that his name goes by Me Mowdy.
How did you find the contact for him? Did you see him that day in the club? Did you see the credits?
No, so I saw the end credits and it said producer Me Mowdy, and it was like one of the only credits that was on the show. So I figured he's the one putting it together. And at the time, he was on the radio. He was on 106.7 Casa. And I went to the Casa website, and each DJ has like their contact information. So I hit him up on his work email, and then I looked him up on MySpace, and I hit him up on MySpace. And then on there, I also had like his personal email and his MySpace email. And that's what I did. I just copy and pasted an email saying, hey, I'd really like to be part of the show, blah, 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 blah.
What did you saw when you were watching the show that it was good, that you thought, I can make it better? I have some ideas that can make it pop more.
Oh, well, I ain't gonna lie. It was very, like, lowbrow. And it looks like it was just shot, like, just improv. They were just shooting just to shoot. There's no real direction. And what I was doing, everything, like, I'm not classically trained in editing or anything. Everything that I've done and learned is self-taught. For one.
YouTube videos at all?
No, I started doing this
trial and error.
Yeah,
trial and error. Yeah.
I was like, what's this do? And everything, I would watch movies like Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, things like that, like Martin Scorsese flicks.
Did you get with any other videographers that kind of sort of give you direction? None of them?
I didn't know.
So you just push his button, see what he does, watch a bunch of movies.
Yeah, I had no frame of reference or nobody to ask. Wow. But being in Virginia, I had plenty of time on my hands because I didn't know anybody. So I was just in an apartment by myself with a lot of time on my hands. So I figured it out.
So you watch a bunch of movies and see kind of sort of the angling, how everything looks.
I would watch stuff and I was like, how do they do that? And then it's crazy because that's how I learned about stabilizers, gimbals, cranes, and all that lighting, because it was like that. Oh, I see how they did that. Because I'd be practicing at home, like with the tripod, trying to see if I get the same shot.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be doing stupid stuff. Okay. Like I'm over here falling with my equipment.
So finally, you get a reply back from me, Maori. Finally, he gets to know that you've been trying to get a hold of him for some minute now.
Yeah, so I hit him up, and he didn't respond right away.
No,
like I'm blowing his shit up.
How long?
I'm blowing him up.
How long you say you would try to get
it was probably a few days.
Few days.
Yeah, it was a few days, like consistently. I was like, man, maybe he didn't get it. Or he didn't see it. Maybe it's like buried under a whole bunch of emails.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was like, nah, well, I'll just send him another one. And then he calls me, and he was like, "Is this DTown Jackal?" And because that was my name on.
Okay. Remind me again. How did you get it?
Oh well,
DTown Jackal.
So when I was like recording the bands and stuff, there's a little time where I was like, this could be a show. So I was like, well, I need somebody to be in front of the camera and be like a host. So I was like, I don't know anybody, so I'll just do me. So I went in front of the camera, and I would do my name. I was like, hey, my real name is Randy Almaguer, but like that sounded so so I was like, nah, man. And so I have a gamer tag that I always use. It was DTown Jackal, and that's what I ended up using. I was like,
how did you pick DTown Jackal even as a gamer?
As a gamer, it's because like I just thought it sounded tough.
It
like
does.
yeah, like
I like it. I like it a lot.
Jackal, and I was trying to go for like some kind of a Punisher vibe,
sneaking around, taking care of business.
Yeah,
DTown Jackal.
So I mean, one day, like I'm doing like my own talent development in front of the camera, and I'm going, hey guys, this is Randy. Hey, and I was like, okay, take a pause, and I'm like, hey, DTown Jackal here, and we're in a brand new episode of, and I was like, whoa,
rolls out the tongue. Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I like that, and then I just did it from then on. I like that name.
Okay, so let's keep going with me, Maori. He answers the phone, looking for DTown Jackal.
So Mounty calls me, and I was like, this is DTown Jackal. I was like, hey, no, I was like, that's literally what's happening. Who the is this? This is me, man. I was like, get the f out of here. Who is this? And then it was me, Mounty, from 106.7. I was like, oh, hey, man, how's it going? And I was like kind of embarrassed because I was like, I'm thinking back, like, dang, I sent him probably about like 50 emails. And he was like, man, let me just tell you. You are persistent. One persistent son of a, and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And he was like, look, I wasn't gonna respond, to be honest with you, but after so many emails, something told me I got to see what this guy's about. And we started talking. One thing led to another, and he invited me down to the club, and I went. I showed him my little reel, and he brought me on. I even told him, I was like, man, I want to be a part of your show. I don't have to be in front of the camera. I just want to be a part of it. Like, help out. Like, make it look better, give you a better product. You don't even have to pay me. And he was like, look, I'm going to tell you what. You're in. But in good conscience, I can't have you do it for free. I got to give you something. Mm-hmm. He goes, because I see your skills. And he paid me $200 a week.
$200 a week? $300 a week, and you used to do it every
Saturday, Fridays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
and you'd be editing,
and Sunday.
So they give you the footage, and you just be editing and doing everything else.
So I would go down to the club just to see how it was. First couple of weeks, it was just shadowing how he did it, until eventually it led up to me directing episodes. He would just leave it up to me and the camera guy, and the only thing he wanted to do was be in charge of the skits and stuff like that. It was like, hey, come over here, what do you think? And then we just add to it, we'd punch it up. And it was just ridiculous.
Okay. How long did it run for y'all? How long of a run did you have?
So before me, he was already doing it. So it ran on the air for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Until unfortunately the club had to shut down. But by that time, I wasn't no longer part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, just parted ways amicably. Yeah, you wanted to do your own thing, different things?
Nah, it was one of those situations where it was like, we got into it, and but it was one of those things like, man, you can't fire me, I fucking quit.
So it was something like that?
Yeah, it was one of those situations.
Yeah. But you did have something to say to me as far as the opportunity that Maori did present it to you, right? He's the only one that kind of sort of maybe gave you...
Yeah, so one thing, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, say what you want about the dude. Anybody, I'm not saying that you did, or anybody, but that guy, he did give me an opportunity, and I'll always be grateful to him for that, because if it wasn't him, I wouldn't. He had taught me so many lessons about the industry, like, and it's crazy just about the way, like, for example, infomercials and TV commercials, the way they work and things like that. Like, he taught me so much in just a little amount of time, and I'll forever be grateful. This is lessons that I've been able to take on for years and for me to profit off of.
Awesome. Okay, so you leave DMX, and after that, where you started heading to? What do you want to do at that time? Do you want to start creating Revolución TV? Do you have anything else that you have in mind? Are you working?
So at the time, I created a Revolution TV before I leave DMX. Before we parted ways, that was already up and running. And one thing about Revolution TV, this is one of those things where I can tell you that if you really want something, like if you ain't hungry, like don't do it. Like because you got a dog, you got to be a dog, bro. You got to eat it, breathe it, all that.
Give us an example of the things you did.
So, okay, so I'm presented with the opportunity to do Revolution TV, have it air on Azteca America and MTV3. And they give me the airtime.
They give you the airtime. They don't sell it to you.
And the thing is, because I'm in a particular deal, because it's going to be simulcast, I have to make sure I give them $800 a week. A week. This is like rent. $800 a week.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm like, man, I barely got like $100 in my pocket. You know, like, you know, extra. I was like, how am I going to do this? I don't know anybody. And like they talk to me, they give me the contract, I sign it, and
you still sign it knowing you have no money in your pocket.
Yeah,
You believe in what you're doing.
I sign it, and they left, and then I instantly had like, I guess, buyer's remorse. Like as soon as they left my office,
you freaked out.
Yeah, and I called them back. I can't do it. And the representative said, look, I'm going to tell you right now, you have a really good product. Like, you can get sponsors for this easily. You just got to go out there and get it. If you can't get the sponsors within 2 weeks, we'll just rip up the contract, null and void. Don't worry about it. You got 2 weeks. But at least try.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve this.
You remember that person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a female. Her name was Bianca. But I was like, you know what? All right, I'll try. And at the time when I was doing this, like I said, I was doing a lot of clubs, recording here and there, and so that way I could gain entrance into certain clubs. I would tell the managers, I was like, hey, how would you like a menu on your TVs where it'd have like commercials of your restaurant, but at the same time it would go into music videos of the bands that are playing, you know, stuff like that. I'd do stuff like that, and for free, just so they could give me gain entry anytime I wanted. And one of the people, the establishment was called Firewater Bar and Grill, which later became like Gas Monkey, later became like so many other things. Like right now, I guess it's like a Mexican restaurant off of technology. Yeah.
El Deseo. I believe El Deseo or El Destino, one of the two.
Something like that.
Something like that.
And like, but before it was a Firewater Bar and Grill. And the manager there, her name was Stephanie. And I asked her, I was like, you know what? She was the first person I called. And I was like, hey, Stephanie, I got this opportunity to have my own show on the air. And I'm trying to see if you'd like to be a sponsor. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, basically just sponsor the show, and what I could do is I could provide like commercials throughout the show, or maybe at the beginning of the show to say, this show brought to you by blah, 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 you know, just for a monetary sponsorship from you. And she was, well, how much? How much would it cost me? I'd be interested, but how much would it be? And without thinking, because I wasn't prepared, without thinking, I was like, $850. And she's like, yeah, I could do that.
Sound like a nice round number.
Yeah. And she goes, yeah, I could do that. For how long? 3 months. Like 3 months. We could do a 3-month contract just to see how it goes. And like I said, I was just like, just
throwing numbers out there.
And so remember, it cost $800 just to have it weekly.
So you had it paid and made a $50 profit.
Yeah. So
except right for the timing that you have to go out and do this stuff.
So I explained to her it was $850 a week for 3 months, and yeah, so already making $50 profit off of the first person I got. And then once that happened, it was like I was off to the races, bro. I was like, oh man, forget this. This is what I'm gonna do. And yeah, so once I started producing the show, started getting more sponsors in, man.
So it was all sponsors or advertisers or anything like that? Do you distinguish them?
Just people that wanted to have commercials during the show. Anybody that wanted to be on the show, man, that thing was like, if that was a drug, I was serving up the block, bro.
Everybody was.
Yeah, everybody was getting to see on TV.
So but the product was good though. Yeah. People saw it. Did they see any results or anybody was anything like that? Or they just cared that they were on TV at a particular time.
I mean, just like with anything, it all depends. You know, some people may have not had results. Some people had results. And for me, I felt like there was results. I never, like, there was a piece of me was saying, who's even watching this? You know, like, just to be honest, you know? Until one day I was walking around in Target, and so I was like, Revolution TV? And I was like, huh? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, can I take a picture? And I was like, okay. And, like, dude, I was like, you know, just, it just threw me off. Like,
you know what the funniest thing is? So, of course, you had me on your show that you have going on now, Parandeando en Dallas. Mm-hmm. And somebody hit me up and sent me a message and Messenger. I'll catch you on TV. I was like, it was freaking hilarious that I was on TV. I was just like, that moment right there, I was like, wow, there's people really watching. Because they sent me a freaking message saying, hey, I saw you. Send me a screenshot of me talking to Jay. I was like, wow. Crazy.
It's crazy.
It is.
Like.
So people watch.
Yeah.
You might not know. You might not see them personally. But, man, there's so many people you don't know.
Yeah.
To be watching.
And it's just like one thing that at that time, the broadcast signals from here to Decatur, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like.
So you have validation at that moment when that kid or that person want to take the picture. Like, oh, shoot, people are watching.
And then I really started taking it serious.
Yeah.
And like at that point, I started telling myself, because I started seeing this income start to develop, and I really wanted to put it on TV. I wanted to sell it to MTV, like New York, and not just be on MTV Tres. I tried to sell it. I tried to go that route, but then, you know, like I felt like doors were just shutting on me because, you know, being from Dallas, nobody tells you what the business is like, the entertainment business. No one tells you like, oh, this is what you have to do to get to this. And so once I realized you gotta, you know, get an agent and do all this and that, like I was like, oh man, that's all a lot of work. I feel like I'm missing out on money. And
you're on that split with your manager and representation, anybody else.
So I started doing what I guess I started calling self-syndicating, and started putting on Revolution TV. So I was in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and then I wanted to go to McAllen and then Houston. So that way, like once in my mind, I felt like I got Texas, I was gonna start going Southwest, and then later go New York.
Yeah, that's awesome. But after that, that kind of passed a little bit for you, the things that you kind of get burned out for doing it, or what happened?
Yeah, so I ended up. So around this time, there was a lot of things going on. I'm doing this every day. Like at the time, again, I don't know everything about TV, but you know when you watch TV, they're like, "Hey, this is the first season of blah blah blah," or season 2, season 5. You know, I didn't know about seasons. I shot the show every week, brand new, straight. And that's how I was running and gunning for 3 years straight. Jeez. Every week, no break. If it was a rerun, it was because I was sick. Like that was the only time. And I had a couple of reruns. Like I had my boy Los. I had literally, I'm laying on the floor feeling like I'm dying, and I'm telling him how to edit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like cut this, cut that, move this. Nah, stupid. Like it was just horrible, man. I'm over here dying on the floor, and like I didn't know about seasons.
Yeah. Wow.
Not until like obviously later.
So it eventually comes to a stop, a halt, and you discontinue Revolución TV.
Yeah. So I pulled the plug because I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Did you focus on doing music videos at all during that time at all? Or you just focusing on the show?
I just focused on the show.
You have done quite a bit of videos, music videos, right?
Yeah.
Who would you say is the biggest artist that you ever had or did video for an artist or anybody that hire you?
I feel like I've worked with a couple Grammy Award winners. Obviously, like Playing Skills. I've done work with like Baby Bash. I've worked with Duro. Like, I mean, a lot of people that have plaques.
Pitbull too at that time with Casa, or you didn't get a chance when he went through there?
No, Pitbull was on Revolution TV. Believe it or not.
So you did.
So actually, real quick, we interviewed Pitbull for Revolution TV before he was Mr. Worldwide. At that time, when he was on my show, he was charging $5,000 for an appearance. Within a year's time, it ballooned up to $175,000.
So you paid a $5,000 to be on it, or no?
No,
you got that one.
He did it. He did it out of love.
Yeah. Did y'all build? How did y'all introduce each other? How did y'all meet? How was the connection for that?
Bro, to be honest with you, during that time, it was just all like, if you know somebody, you know that kind of thing. Like, it was just jumping up. Like, I think because we knew Baby Bash or something like that. It was something like that. But, dude, it was just opportunity.
How big for you? You might have not seen it, but looking back and people that you put in there, do you think Revolución TV? I mean, MTV3, different places. How big do you think it really got? You maybe didn't really get to see it all the way of the name itself that people were recognizing.
Man, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I've never really asked myself that. Sometimes I feel like it was just like an underground show, you know?
Yeah. What other big artists did you get to be on Revolución TV?
Oh, man. I mean, we've had LMFAO. And they were at their prime at the time. I mean, it's crazy because my favorite band, it's funny because this is towards the end of Revolution TV. My favorite band is called the Deftones.
The Deftones, yeah.
So we actually set up an interview with the Deftones. We go and record. We're right there where all the photographers are in front of the stage. They said, you got 15 minutes. Get all your footage after that. Y'all got to get out of here. All right. And I get my footage, all that. And then after that, I'm expecting to get like an interview, and they're like, nah. Well, no, they're not going to do it. So they didn't give me why. So I don't know if it was because of the band or the manager. But that was my favorite band. So like that really, like, I got my feelings about that.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm with this big ass $17,000 camera, like over the shoulder, and I tell my boy Lowe's, because we can't record no more.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, pick me up, bro.
Left.
And he was like, huh? Like, pick me up. I said, we're recording something. And then we're recording more. And he picked me up, and I'm in the back, and those kind of cameras, you can zoom in from far away. These are broadcast cameras.
Yeah.
And I felt like I said, I'm gonna get my well, not money's worth, but I'm gonna leave here with something.
With something.
And I swear, while I was recording, you can see the lead singer Chino, like, he's like on the mic, and I feel like he like looks at the camera. He's just staring at the camera. They're like, what the hell is he doing?
That's funny.
And then,
I wonder if he recalls that to this day.
I don't know, man. But I do got it like on my Facebook, like a little clip.
Where was it at? Where were they performing
at? The Palladium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm pretty sure he remembers. Come on, a guy on top of another guy with a big old camera, and he looks at you.
Because, dude, I'm recording, I'm looking through the viewfinder, I'm thinking, oh, crap. Yeah. He sees me.
He has to remember, no way. Okay, so after that, somewhere down the line, you keep doing your thing. You try comedy. You did comedy for some time. What made you want to try comedy? What made you want to get into doing a set, even going on stage? I think you even hit a couple cities, different places, didn't you?
So here's the thing. Like, I started doing comedy after doing music videos. And I got into music video. Everything that I kind of got into after the show has been like, it was like presented to me. Like, I started doing music videos because George Lopez from,
DTown
Music, yeah.
Yeah.
he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, you want to do a music video? Do you know how to do music videos?" So I go, "Well, I've never done one, but I can do one." And he goes, "Man, I'll give you $500. You shoot one for Tuck." I was like, "All right." And
Big Tuck.
Yeah. And then I shoot a video for Big Tuck with a big ass camera, and it was called Stunner Man.
Stunner Man is your video.
So that was my first video, not my first video. My first video, music video. And then from there, that's when I went on a whole rampage of shooting videos and learning the craft, little by little, and discovering. Like, I had this big ass camera, and then I started people running and gunning with these little DSLRs. I was like, "What the hell? That looks better than my shit." So, but that's kind of how I got into comedy as well. Somebody had hired me to go to shoot a comedy show, and one of the comedians there was like, "Hey, do you think you could do a DVD for me?" His name was Flo Hernandez, and or is Flo Hernandez?
Yeah, Flo.
And he's still with us.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing.
And congrats to Flo, because I hear he just won best new breakout comedian of 2024.
Yeah, he even had an HBO special. All kinds of stuff he's been doing.
Yeah, he's on HBO and Showtime.
Chicken nuggets.
But yeah, so I was gonna do a DVD for him, and I go to his house, and we're gonna go to Houston to record for his DVD. And we're talking, shooting stories, swapping stories, and he was like, "Man, dude, you're pretty funny. You ever thought about doing stand-up?" I was like, "Nah." I said, "I'll leave it to you guys. I'm too much of a puss. That's not for me." Uh-huh. And he was like, "Man, dude, you should do it. You should try it. Like, if you could think of some jokes between now and Houston, on our drive to Houston, I'll put you out there, bro."
Yeah.
I was like, "For real?" And I was thinking to myself, man, if this goes wrong, I mean, it'll be a good story to tell. I'll probably make some people laugh with it. It'll be funny. And if it goes right, I mean, I guess it's cool too, So I was like, I go out there and I think of some jokes. How
much time he gives you? 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes?
At that time, he didn't tell. Like, already going, like, looking back at it now, he was like, "Oh, this got to be good." Like, no matter how bad or good, it's just throwing somebody on there to flail and eat shit in front of a crowd. That's gonna be hilarious for him. So he didn't give me a time. I guess he figured. I don't know. You
the sink or you swim?
Yeah. So I go out there, and I mean, it felt like 5 minutes, but it could have been 2. But I'm out there just talking. I was doing a little bit of crowd work, and I know I was talking about Houston, how it felt. That's one of the things I remember. I was like, how Houston felt like a damn armpit, like it was so humid, whatever. Humid. And I say a little something, a couple lines, and I got a really big laugh. And as soon as I could get that laugh, I was like, "That's my time, everybody. Thank you."
Peace out.
And and then
leave while you're high.
And then Flo, he goes up, runs out there, and says, "Oh, before you leave, come back." He goes, "Hey guys, man, I didn't know he was gonna do like that. I didn't think he had it in him. I thought he was going right here and
crash and burn."
But he was, "I just want to let you guys know this is the first time ever attempting comedy." And everybody gave me a standing ovation. And it was just like, after that, it was like such a great feeling. Like, I can't describe it.
Yeah.
I don't do drugs, so I can't tell you it was like drugs. But I mean, I imagine maybe that's what it's like. Like, dude. It was like
supernatural high from the crowd and just acknowledging that you like, wow, you did something crazy good.
Yeah. That's so awesome. After that, and I have that recorded, believe it or not.
Nice.
I have every set I've ever done recorded. And
you ain't never gonna put it out?
Maybe one day.
Why not? It's because YouTube. It's because at least you get some views.
It's because I see the thing that I do. Like, there's like,
not to mention you'll be the editor, so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because at the same time lighting was an issue or whatever. But bro,
even some TikToks, just a little.
I'll probably put it out there one day. Huh? But to be honest with you, that's what helped me. I've never done open mics. After that, I went on to another show. Then went to another show. And Flo would always encourage me, do open mics.
Sharpen your craft.
And I've never seen anything wrong with it. But in my mind, I'm an editor. I was like, I can sharpen my craft at home on my computer.
That's
And so I start editing my jokes, like to where, okay, I need to cut this part out because I get to laugh faster, you know. So I started doing that, and believe it or not, that actually helped me out, like with my mic skills. So where that way I don't have to be just saying words that I don't really need to be saying, just cutting out the fat, getting straight to the joke, straight to the joke, and then like Flo says it. Get more laughs per second. You want to get your laughs per second up. You know, you keep your laughs per second up.
That's cool.
Because you know, you have too many lulls, then you're gonna try harder, you know, to laugh. Your laughs better really be good. But if you got them up and down, you're good.
Yeah. So some of the top conversations you had, some of the things that he was kind of helping you, kind of coaching you a little bit of how to get better at stand up, get better with the jokes quicker.
Oh yeah.
That's
so
cool.
He had me MC for him, open up for him, and at the time, there were times where I didn't take it as serious as like maybe I should have, like not memorizing my jokes.
Did you ever like crash? Bad?
Oh yeah. And like if anybody ever tells you like, oh, I've never bombed, like Flo, I'll tell you, man, Flo be trying to tell me he's never bombed, but yeah, he's bombed.
Bad.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Bomb bad.
But I bombed, man. He set me up one time bad. So we went to Tyler, and I was the first comic up. We go to it's in a restaurant, and it's me, another comic named Adrian Lara, and then Flo. And at the time, we're calling ourselves Three Beans in a Podcast.
Three Beans in a Podcast.
And so we had a podcast, and I go up first, and that's when I learn. Usually, you want somebody to hype it up right quick, like, "Hey, come to the stage. We got this straight out of Dallas."
You need the MC.
Yeah, you need somebody, a host. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time, so I'm walking cold
audience, just want to straight go to your jokes.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Hey guys," and everybody's talking. No one cares. I'm on stage, so yeah, just up here. Yeah, and just looking around, and there's like, it's crazy because you got one guy giving you straight eye contact, and he's like, you know, and then other people don't care, and I'm just like, oh man, this sucks. And I go through probably what feels like 10 minutes of material in 2, you know, like I'm just going straight doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
And by the time I look at Flo, I see Flo going,
oh man.
And I'm just like, man, all right.
Because it's a relief when he comes in, because you just burn badly. So he's just like a breath of fresh air when he gets on the stage and starts killing it.
So yeah, you know, I get a thumbs up from him. He's just laughing. He's enjoying his ass off,
man.
And then, you know, I'd say that's my time I get off, and then somebody goes up to try to present Adrian, but then Adrian, he was starting to eat dog crap for a little bit, but then Flo jumps on stage, and then this is when I learned the power of like, don't be afraid to whip the crowd into shape. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, you got to check the crowd sometimes, because they're not respecting, you know, because we're out here to perform for you guys.
Yeah.
So Flo went out there, hey, mother, I said, we didn't come out here so y'all can just talk amongst yourself. And like, he really gives it to him. But he gets the crowd's respect, makes the whole room shut up, and he was like, all right, now put your hands together for my boy, Adrian Lara, all the way from Dallas. Brings him, gives him a great open. He comes, and then Adrian starts doing his jokes, and then boom, the comedy show officially starts. You know? So by the time Flo gets on there, yeah, Flo whoops their ass, and everybody's laughing. At the end of the night, you know, we're sitting outside the restaurant. And I'm just thinking to myself, he just looks at me. So how do you think you did? I look at him. I just started laughing. I said, you know how I did. He goes, yeah, I did that to you on purpose. Hey, I go, what?
Builds character, bro.
And then that's what he said. He goes, dude, it's because you've had it easy, bro. You need to learn what it's like to eat dog shit.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the great ones had them before. You have to surpass those moments.
But like every time there's been a moment like that, like I've always take it. And I learned from it, and oddly enough, like I feel like I mean, I haven't hit the stage in a minute, but if I do, I feel I'm ready for it. But I don't know.
Yeah. Did you ever run into Ralph Barbosa at the time? Wasn't even even around doing comedy
at the time? It's funny because like when I kind of stepped back from comedy, Flo has always to me been like the go-to person. Like if you want to do comedy, go to him, and like he can help you, you know. And he like a lot of people have gone to Flo, whether it be Jesus Castillo, Midnight, Luis Juarez, or Ralph Barbosa. They've all opened up for Flo at one time or another, including myself. And I feel like a lot of people's paths would have been. I'm not saying like Flo did it, but they wouldn't have.
He's part of the story.
Yeah,
he's part of the story to get people to put in not necessarily position, but at least minimum give them an opportunity to keep working on getting where they need to be.
Because I know when I was running around with Flo, I was opening them up for him. Like it wasn't like. We were running around about 2 years, like strong. Like just I'd be opening up for him here and there, and once I stopped doing it, I remember I had spoken to him a while back, but he was telling me, he was like, "Hey, you know who started opening up for me after like you stepped back? Ralph Barbosa."
Yeah,
and it's crazy because like all the guys that I see, I mean, it might sound like I'm throwing shade, but I'm just calling it how I see it. All the guys that open up for Flo are like, I feel like they're riding Ralph's tails, and I feel like, dang man, what happened to Flo? Y'all done left them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, just your perspective seems like that's what it looks like because you kind of sort of were in the inner circle.
I mean, not to say like no. I mean, nobody owes nobody nothing.
Yeah,
either.
Of course.
But I just feel like, for me, there's a certain loyalty. Like if I know if I were making it or something like that, I'd be like, hey Flo, if I'm about to have a special, I feel like you being one of the OGs in Dallas, you want to come out, you know.
Do you think at all that Flo could be very interesting? He's a very nice guy, but I don't know how he is outside when he's not on stage, how kind of person it is. If there's any ego, anything that he might have caused, anything that somebody might not want to put him or bring him along, even though he does have provided a lot of opportunity for different comedies. You think anything there?
You know what it is? He's an asshole.
Okay.
But that's why I get along with him, because I'm an asshole too. But he like either, I guess it's like if you either get it or you don't.
But there's no malice intent behind what he's talking about. Just
but
the way
he calls
he
it
talks.
how he sees it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And like, for example, that's the thing, man. I feel like when you're around comics, it has to be like that because we're always talking shit to each other. I mean, I tell Flo how he looks like Corey Feldman, all the fucking stuff.
Yeah, hilarious. All right, we should running short on time. Right before I let you go, though, you got an opportunity to be part of Estrella Media, which is now pretty much you're like the production team. So now you're working with them, but you have another project that you've been working on, that continue working on, which is Parrandeando in Dallas.
Right.
So now you're kind of sort of working on that. What can anybody expect when they're watching? What time can they find it? And what can they expect whenever they're watching an episode of Parrandeando in Dallas?
So I produce a show called Parrandeando in Dallas. And basically it's a show, it's a lifestyle show in terms of like where one could have fun in Dallas from, let's say, where you can get a bite to eat, where you could maybe hang out, have a nice drink with some buddies, or take the family out for a good time, you know, whether it be a museum or just something, some family fun. And every now and then we put some music videos to it. But it airs every Friday at 11:30 on Channel 29 Estrella TV.
Here in Dallas, Texas.
Here in Dallas.
Okay, so there you go. You can play your whole day if you, for whatever reason, don't find anything to do. That's where you can kind of sort of give you an inside little history of the different places. What can you expect there? Give you great shots of the plays itself, the founders, the person that created it, whatever it is, and then, you know, kind of even onto the night to some of the legendary clubs here in Dallas or the up-and-coming clubs or the ones that, you know, trying to get their name out there. Then you let them know. Awesome. All right, before I let you go, all your social media, where can people find you at?
Oh man, you can.
Do you want them to find you?
Yeah, you can find me. I'm actually on everything, but what I'm really active on is TikTok.
TikTok.
Man, the TikTok got to me. I be watching. I like watching those Asian guys digging laptops out of the creek and
really,
and they'll clean them up and get them back working again, or they'll get like a rusted watch and fix it up. Dude, I don't know why I'm so addicted to watching that.
But you have your own thing.
But my own content, I do action figure reviews. I do a lot of little nerd reviews, and from video games, streaming, all that stuff. So
particular finds that you can go to Ross or Burlington Coast and find some particular finds.
If you're looking for action figures, I'll tell you where to get them.
Where is that?
Ross. So Ross, Ollie's, Dirt Cheap. That's where you'll get them at a great price. But and then again, I'm on YouTube. You can find me streaming and all the other little content on there. You can find on the same channel the music videos I've done, my action figure reviews, and even some of my streaming that I've done playing video games.
Nice. Okay, any shout outs, saludos, anything?
And comedy.
Absolutely,
yeah,
comedy.
Comedy clips.
Saludos, anything you have?
I want to give a shout out to this is gonna be so DMX, to everyone that knows me. And,
everybody that knows me from DMX TV.
So definitely want to give a shout out to my girl Abby, for sure. She don't even know I'm here, so she'll be like, "Wait, I'm on that now."
Spreading the word.
I'm over here, man. I'm over here. No, so and then all my little homies from work. Dude, I say homies, but they got fired.
Or some resigned. Yeah, some took another path.
Ain't nobody there no more.
I think you're the only production team.
Yeah.
What is an important lesson that you learned doing everything that you did, that you have done so far, that you would tell your younger self?
What did you say?
What is an important lesson that you learned doing everything that you've done so far, that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? What would that be?
Believe it or not, Maui taught me this lesson. Try not to burn bridges, because you never know when you got to go walk through them again.
Yeah. Or you can buy yourself a boat. You don't have to worry about no bridges. Just saying.
But, believe it or not, I feel like everybody that I've met on this particular journey, whether it be like in the entertainment, like from Flo or Maui, everybody's been a mentor of sorts. And Maui, he was kind of like a vast source of mentorship with a lot of little nuggets. And a few of them was that. Another one was, it's like, it's not just, it's who you know that could probably get you there. It's not just who you know, but it's what you know that's going to keep you there.
Yeah.
And that one hit hard for me a lot. Because sometimes you can be like, you can get in because you know so-and-so, but it's what you know is going to keep you there. And that literally explains my situation right now, because of what I know. That's why I'm at the job I am right now, because of my past experience.
Awesome. This is a little bit more deeper, more life felt, but I hope you enjoy it. Normally, sometime during the week, during the day, say something that I heard a long time ago that I really liked. I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day. And that's just not to freak me out, scare me, terrorize me, anything like that. It's just a fact of life, right? We're not going to be here forever. But for me, at least it makes me want to hurry up and do things. With that, I wish you a long, long, prosperous life. However, when everything's said and done, what do you want people to think and feel about your life?
I think if I could have one thing, you just want to be remembered. If anything, just remember me. Like, I know eventually the people that know me or knew me will remember me, but then when they're gone, like, I'll be gone. And that's, like, for me, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause we can only, unless you make it to a status of like a star and you're on film and, you're kind of on there forever. But like, once, you're gone and the people that know you, they're gone, and maybe that generation after them, after they're gone, then you're truly gone. I just want to be remembered. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I've known you for many years. We've done different type of businesses, different things like that. I always take the things that you like, the work that you've done. I like your work. I hire you for different things. just the person that you've been. I've gone to your comedy shows just to check you out to see. I always find it interesting the way even to where you create your own thing, the entrepreneur to be able to go get it and be able to run something for so long that I feel like is, maybe some people might not have seen it, but the ones can remember Revolucion TV would be something that is maybe iconic in that time frame, or even DMX TV that you were like a lot of people remember DMX TV. They always try to bring it back, even though it's gone. Yeah. But it's great that
there's been so many copycats.
But you were one of the ones that were back there. You might not be the original, but you were part of that history. And even like Big Tuck.
Yeah.
Shooting a video for Big Tuck. Who doesn't know Big Tuck in Dallas? Tonight, tomorrow, the weekend, there will be a song played by Big Tuck, and you were one of the ones that were shooting his videos at the time, and so many other. So it's pretty cool. And that's the reason why I thought it was great. That it's awesome that we keep reconnecting. And we get to work and do different stuff, but I feel like definitely you're, in your own rights, you're a legend of the things that you're done and continue to do. Especially,
man, honestly, I don't feel like none of that.
well, that's not for you to feel, right? That's for the outside perspective of the ones that know about you, like myself, that I know what you've done.
But I mean, let me just say this.
Yeah, of course.
If I can, like, honestly, like, if anybody ever had like any kind of thoughts about Crispin or anything, I could say he's a stand-up guy. And I vouch for you. You're probably one of my favorite guys to do business with, because anytime I've ever done business with you, it's always been on the level. So like I could literally vouch for you and say, like, I've always done great business with you.
Absolutely appreciate it. And without a shadow of a doubt, DTown Jackal, you are a global Latin factor. Thank you very much for being here today, sir. This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe today. It's for free. Thank you so much. You're supporting us a lot. And remember, we are just like you. We are human. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time. Bus. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and check out one of the other episodes that we have prepared for you. Thank you very much. Till next time.
Walks like a pedo, but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and refracting.